All right. Enough of that. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on, Malaysia? Welcome to the show. It's a Monday night, 28th of June, 2021, and we have the most highly anticipated episode of What's Going On, Malaysia. I'm setting the bar even higher than I usually do, and I'm so excited about it. First of all, the usual things. Thank you so much for watching this live streaming. If you are on my Facebook or if you're on YouTube, and also for the first time ever, we are live streaming to Tony Fernandes's LinkedIn. This is an interactive show, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, comments are coming up. Vincent Patrick Tobler says, I love all the MBA. Coven is Vincent, learning beneath the wisecracks. Buggers, looking forward to the show. This is going to be an interactive show. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to keep commenting. I want you to keep asking questions. And I want you to keep sharing this post on Facebook and on YouTube, on WhatsApp, wherever you are on your device. It is a Monday night. You're not going anywhere. We were meant to end the FMCO today. It's not over till it's over. Lenny Kravitz said that it's not over, baby, till it's over. And it's a long way from being over. I don't even know why I'm smiling. I was depressed the whole day, but I'm smiling because of the guy I'm going to bring on right now. I hope you guys can hear me, and I hope you are ready for a rollicking good time. It's this dude right here. I've got his book. I didn't actually have his book. I just bought it before the show to show that, I'm supporting him. No, screw that. I bought this years ago. Haven't read it, though, because I don't read books. But no, I have read it, actually. It's a great book. We'll talk about that later. Guys, I'm excited. Are you excited? Let me know how excited you are by commenting. Comment as often and as much as possible. Share your thoughts with us. Tony is watching. He's in the studio right now. Share this post. I'm going to keep saying that. I'm going to be on repeat tonight. Share this post because I do not want anyone to miss out on the gems, the gold nuggets, the absolute bullshit that we're going to be talking about tonight. We're just going to be making shit up. I just got a feeling about that. Ladies and gentlemen, wave your hands in the air like you just don't care, and please welcome my guest into the studio, Tan Sri Tony Fernandes. Welcome.
Hey, my man, how you doing?
I am good, hey, Tony.
I've never heard a song with two lyrics, man. That's it. That's all it was, man. That's a low-cost song. You didn't even need to pay any lyricists, man. Just your name.
I just said to the lyricist, can you come up with the two most brilliant words ever? And he was like, you're paying me? I said, yes. Harith Iskandar.
I was killing myself listening to the song. I thought, where's the bridge? No bridge. Yeah. It's just Harith Iskandar.
Screw the bridge, man. Who needs a bridge when you've got Harith Iskandar? First of all, Tony, thank you so much for agreeing to this. I know you are you're probably knackered. You're zombie-fied out, as you said to me earlier. Before we get into the hot stuff, how's your day been? What have you been doing?
Yeah, I watched the Euros, and I had an early morning meeting at 8:00, and I got up, and one of the great things about lockdown, I just got up and went like a zombie straight to the computer, in my pajamas, hadn't brushed my teeth, hadn't combed my hair, and just straight into meeting with I always wear a t-shirt anyway, so it looked like as my normal self anyway, and then just went through meetings till maybe about 7, and then had a quick shower for Harith Iskandar. Had to smell nice for you, my man. Brush my teeth, comb my hair. Missed out on lunch. Had a bit of dinner, which is not a bad thing because I need to lose weight, as you know. And I'm with you now.
Dude, thank you so much. Just before the MCO, I saw you were doing a lot of boxing, you were doing a lot of cardio, you were doing a lot of jogging, and then during the MCO, you're on the motorbike and the bicycle delivering food.
Yeah.
What was that?
You remember I was watching that video, and it was nice that you played that video because I'm a lot thinner than I was. I looked at myself and I thought, God, who's that guy from Star Wars, man? I look like Jabba the Hutt. My shape's better. One of the good things about MCO, I'm watching what I eat. I'm doing a lot more exercise. I bought a bicycle. It's motorized, but bought a bicycle.
That doesn't count. That doesn't count.
Look, I'm only on 1 power now. Most of the time on 0 power. I outrode Riyad Asmat the other day, and he's a pro, man.
Wait a minute. You bought a bicycle that's motorized?
Slightly motorized. I don't think you could ride it anyway. Remember last time we had, even in my fatter self, you couldn't beat me on the push-ups, man. Do you remember?
No. Give it up to you. That's true, ladies and gentlemen. Tony is talking about an appearance he made on my show. Obviously, Harith Iskander, which that earlier video that we were in the car, that was pre-COVID, by the way. Many people may not have seen that video. That the reason we were not wearing masks because that was 2016, pre-PMD, pre-mask days.
Different world, man. Different world.
Isn't it? I want to say #UCK crazy.
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought I've seen it all, but this is something else. Really something else. Yeah.
Okay.
It's the third time we're doing something, man. We did the TV show. We did that crazy stand-up thing. I kind of went a little bit mad that day.
Tony Fernandes came to the Joke Factory. We did a show at the Black Box, and first thing he just got on stage and started giving away bloody free tickets and just took the show over. I
did take this
after the stage, and nobody would have noticed.
I did take the show, actually. I did take over, right? That was kind of
bloody well
funny day. Anyway,
okay. Thank you so much, number one, for coming on the show. We're gonna start light. You run mega businesses, and yes, of course, aviation is one of the most, if not the most hardest hit. This last year and a half was a nightmare. In your own words, I don't want to lead you into anything, but what has it been like, and where do you stand at this moment, and maybe look into the future a little bit?
Yeah, well,
typically with your business.
It's a nightmare. It's a bad dream that you haven't woke up for 15 months. Would I believe that we're still in lockdown, having started this MCO? I thought COVID would last a couple of months and we'd be back to normal, right? I mean, I never thought we would have grounded planes. There was a day where we had 245 planes on the ground. I mean, can you imagine that? So it's been real tough. Credit to my staff who have been unbelievably incredible. And we're still alive. I mean, that in itself is a victory. That after 15 months of having 200 odd planes on the ground, we're still alive. I believe, taking aside variants and all these other things, one of the greatest things about the Euros is not actually watching the football, is watching crowds at a football game. I'm more interested in watching 80,000 people having a good time as opposed to the football.
Yeah, I'm looking at the stadium. There's people there, at least 50% capacity or whatever. In Hungary,
in Hungary, it was 80,000 people. And then I was talking to Dana White the other day of UFC, and he's at 60,000 people at Jacksonville watching UFC. So, life is going back to the way it was. Asia, because of vaccine supply, is maybe 4 or 5 months away from the Americans. And so we think that we believe the end is in sight. I mean, really in sight. I think Malaysia is doing a great job on vaccine, and now Thailand and Philippines and all these countries are getting together. So I'm hoping by September, October, we begin to see green shoots of recovery and normal behavior.
Okay, let me ask you this. I was going to bring in another question, but you kind of touched on the topic. You probably, more than most of the viewers who are watching right now, are probably in touch with, contact with, or have conversations with the powers that be, who are in charge of everything from pandemic control to the vaccine. And you just said that America, yeah, I just saw the Foo Fighters perform at a full capacity Madison Square Garden concert. And I'm thinking to myself, when will this happen in Malaysia? And you just mentioned something around the number of 4 or 5 months because of vaccine supply. Now, without dropping names, you're on the inside, just between you and me, buddy. What's going on in the inside of current? Nobody's watching right now, just you and me. What's happening? What's going on?
I don't know. I'm just a small little low-cost airline man. All I'm saying is, we're preoccupied with vaccine. We chart it every day. Malaysia is, we did 250 the other day. We're pushing on 300,000 vaccines a day. And, I'm hoping, 70%, 80% will be vaccinated before the year end. And September, we'll get to that magic kind of 60, 70%. You can see in the UK and America, when you hit those kind of numbers, the cases go down. So, I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic.
So are you optimistic because you're just being Tony Fernandes and ever optimistic, or are you optimistic because you know something that we don't know?
Well, look, it's really hard for governments, not just the Malaysian government, right? I think it's easy to complain. I mean, look, we've had it really tough. I haven't been flying effectively for 15 months. No business has been more affected than us. But we haven't stood still. We've gone and built a digital business, which we can talk about later. But the government has to balance between health and economy. And that's a nightmare. That is a nightmare because you want people to live. You want people to go to school. And then, this virus comes and hits you really hard. And suddenly you go from 300 cases to, at one stage, 9,000 cases. And deaths go up, to 100 a day. So what do you do, right? You want people to live. You want people to have a normal life. You want kids to go to school because, look, it's very easy when you don't have kids. But when you have 2 kids at home running around, they want to go to school, right? They're energetic. So you try and loosen up the control, and the virus gets out of hand. Then you have to lock down again. So, I mean, I don't like lockdown, but I think we need this one, and we probably need to do something on the factories and stuff for a few weeks or 3 weeks or so. And then we vaccinate like hell. I think Mosti is doing a good job, and things will come back. I am optimistic. I mean, I am a naturally optimistic person. I can't hear you, man. Not that that's a bad thing.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
I can. It was nice lip syncing you, man. Milli Vanilli. Do you remember them?
Okay, now we're talking. Most of the viewers or followers watching have no idea what you just said.
I know, because we're old, right? We're old.
A bit old school. Okay, let me ask you this. And guys, the comments are popping up. Everyone is excited. Everyone is talking. Everyone is questioning. Okay, I'm just going to ask you this, and I know it's kind of a position.
Arif, I'm struggling to hear you. Can you come closer?
Better?
Better, yeah. I think when you move away too far from your mic, a small tip. I can't hear you.
Thanks for the tip, Mr. Tony Fernandes.
I was in the music business, right? One of the key things when you want your voice amplified is to kind of speak into the microphone.
Check, 1, 2, check. I'm learning so much from you.
You are. Those pearls of wisdom. Speak to the microphone if you want to be heard. Arif Iskandar. It's quite catchy, though. Quite catchy.
Oh, yeah, you know it, right?
Quite good riff. Yeah, it's in my head. It's in my head,
It's been 20 years. You're hearing it. Okay, You know what? I have sent out a social media message to people who wanted to ask questions of Tony Fernandes, and we're going to get that into in a while. Just very quickly, and maybe I'm going to put you in a spot because that's what I like to do. Like, yes, I also agree that the vaccination program, they're really working hard. They're going as well as they can, and I respect and I honor that. One or two things that if you were in the position of powers to be, that we could have done differently. Just yeah, retrospect, it's easy to say, yeah, we should have done this, but just from your point of view, one or two things, what could we have done differently to have turned this around quicker?
Oh, wow. I think the vaccine is as good as it can get because supply, we've seen world inequality, and that's just the reality of the world. Maybe we opened up a little bit too quick. Maybe schools were opened up too early. And I think, Ramadan and the whole, Hari Raya period and Buka Puasa probably, kind of exacerbated this. And, it is very clear when you have large social functions, large gatherings. Look, the first major one we had was the tabligh. And when you have suddenly everything going, mosques, Buka Puasa, Hari Raya, schools, we just probably didn't have enough people vaccinated. And so, we could rewind it all over again. And maybe, hindsight's a wonderful thing. It'd be great not to have an election like the Sabah election, right? That would have been, we were in double figures at that point, right? 20, 30.
However,
there was a day where we had 0 cases. And we never really recovered from the Sabah election, right? We've had CMCO. I've run out of the initials, right?
Yeah.
But we had a lot of initials. And so, what's really great, by the way, I'm seeing all these comments come up. Everyone misses AirAsia. Well, can I tell you that I do as well?
Okay.
But we'll be back soon.
Yeah, speaking of we'll be back soon, we've had a couple of people ask some questions on video with regards to AirAsia as well. I'd like to bring up that, is it Han, the Chinese boy? Can you bring him up? Let's have a list.
Hi, Tony Fernandes. My name is Ma. I come from Johor. It's my pleasure to have this chance to ask you a question. So, my question is simple. During this pandemic period, do you still have confidence in our federal government recovery plan? And do you see any opportunity during this pandemic period to ensure your AirAsia to continue operation, to continue survive during this pandemic period? And because we don't know when is COVID-19 is over. So if you got second chance, will you still invest in Malaysia?
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, this is a political show or a comedy show? Maybe it's the same thing. Maybe it's the same thing.
Nowadays, it's the same thing, yes.
Anyway, let me answer Han's question. Would I invest in Malaysia again? 100%. I always said I've been very consistent for my 19 years. Could I build this airline in Singapore? Probably not. At least I was allowed to start when the government owned Malaysian Airlines. While I've always felt we haven't had 100% level playing field against Malaysian Airlines, at least we've grown, and we've grown bigger than Malaysian Airlines. So, we always spend our time and moan and complain, but I have no complaints. I'm very proud to be Malaysian. And, I've been allowed to build a great company. I've been allowed to hire some great people. I've been allowed to show Malaysia what a multiracial company can be. The strength of Malaysia is a multi-ethnicity, and I've celebrated it. We haven't hidden it. My partner is a devout Muslim. I'm a devout low-cost man, and we have we have both respected each other's views and lived, and that's the beauty of Malaysia. So 100%, if I have another chance, I would do it. I'm on my second chance now in marriage. So, I never thought I'd get married again, but I'm married again. And so I'm happily would invest in Malaysia. We got to, and COVID will end. There is an end. There was an end to Spanish flu. There was an end to bubonic plague. There is an end, and that end is coming. And we haven't stood still. We've gone and built a digital business, and we're going to come back very strong in this airline. I've used this time to reset and redo everything in the airline, and yeah, I feel good. And you've lived through. Everyone who's watching this has lived through. It's like a war, right? You've heard war stories. Well, none of you are probably old enough, but Harith and me are, from your great grandfathers and stuff. Being occupied by Japan and stuff like that. But boy, this COVID is like a war, right? And we survive this, we're going to be better. Hey, Robbie from Philippine AirAsia. Can't wait to see you guys.
I got to say, a lot of the comments have been coming in. People have been showing great support towards you, Tony, and AirAsia as well. I think it's a clear statement of the brand that you have created, that people don't just feel it's a company, but they feel connected to it in one way or another. And yes, like any family, there are disagreements and people fall out, and there's a little bit of negativity, but just general and overall kudos to you for creating something that even now, till to this day, 16 months into the pandemic, people are still commenting saying, hey boss, Tony, great to see you on this platform, missing the all-star family, can't wait to soar the skies again with AAX. See, so
yeah,
you feel
we have a look, we've lost 2,000 staff from the economic conditions. We have lost 5 staff from COVID who passed away. This has taken a big toll on us. And my job before I retire is to make sure I rehire everyone. They did nothing wrong. It was just COVID.
On that note, exactly as Sandra Annette Skadiang says, my son misses you so much as an exemplary boss, which was his proudest moment working with AA. You were a great mentor. He's retrenched now, but still keeps talking about his amazing experience with AA. Hope he joins back. Exactly what you were saying.
Well, Sandra, I'm going to do my damnedest to make sure I hire everyone back. It's my responsibility as a leader to get everyone back, and I'm going to make damn sure I do. I hope I succeed. We have a lot of love and support out there. It is very encouraging. At 9:30, finishing the last meeting, I thought, oh my God, I have 1 hour with Harith Iskandar. Do I have the energy? But it's like watching the comments and seeing my staff. I'm a very energy-driven people person, right? I need people. That's my drug. I need energy from that, and it's the All Stars give me a lot of energy. And looking at all these comments, it's real nice, and we'll come back stronger.
The non-existent hair on my head was standing up as you spoke there.
Hopefully, something else was standing up as well.
But
it still works.
Oh, snap! Oh. Okay. I believe there could be some underage people watching, but you guys didn't understand that at all. I want to bring up another question from a guy called Hans. I remember his name. Hans, could you play that clip from Hans? And
hey, good evening, Harith, and hi, Tony. How are you doing? 2 questions. I'll make it quick. First question, Tony, is which is your favorite property in the whole of Kuala Lumpur of all the properties you've visited or friends? Just curious. Second question is, realistically, when do you think we will be allowed to fly out of Malaysia? Thank you.
Okay, Hans Fernandes, I know him. Property agent, not related to me. Good man. Famous property, the Joke Factory, 100%. That's where it happens.
Stop it. Oh, stop.
That's where it happens. That's where it happens.
Stop it.
And Yeah, when can we fly out of Malaysia? I'm pretty sure. I mean, Phuket has already announced it. Today, I was very proud to the Indonesian government announced AirAsia as its partner to fly to Bali.
Oh,
We were the only airline announced, AirAsia Indonesia, as the government of Indonesia's partner to fly. They're creating a Bali bubble. So we got Phuket and Bali, which Phuket starts in July, and Bali will start soon after. So I'm pretty confident. But if you're vaccinated, you'll start flying probably September, October.
wow. Okay. I wouldn't have been as confident as you, but yeah, I'll go on that train. Seriously, September.
Look, I gotta look, and if it all fails, right, my buddy Richard Branson just emailed me and invited me to go to space with him again. He asked me whether I was interested in investing in his space project and said, come on the first flight. One, I got to fix the airline, but two, so if all else fails, we go up to the moon. I'm not sure if COVID has reached the moon yet.
Are you going to wear a space stewardess uniform in some weird?
I think you have no choice but to. But let's face it, though, I have no spirit of adventure like that. Would you? Would you be interested in going to the moon? I mean, what are you going to do when you get to the moon? Can't have a beer.
Yeah, I could have a beer. Tony.
Oh yeah. Oh really? Have I never seen you with a beer?
Oh, okay. No, you have not.
Must have imagined it. And you're just jumping around, right, in gravity. So I'm much happier sitting in KL, going to the moon. I have no interest.
No,
would you go to the moon?
You know what? I would. No. I'd have to say no.
Yeah, everyone's like, "Oh, you're so boring, Tony. I'd love to go to the moon."
Yeah, and do what?
And do what? Exactly.
Oh, look.
You'll be saying Harith Iskandar much closer. Harith Iskandar.
Tony, you know what I love? What I love about the energy that you always give out is that I'm probably paraphrasing, not getting this correct. Before AirAsia came along, the idea of women pilots didn't exist, at least in Asia. Did you guys have the first female pilots? Am I correct?
Yeah, I'm not exactly 100% sure, but we definitely had the first one in Malaysia.
Yeah.
And I dare say in Southeast Asia as well.
And so I know the airline industry's damn near collapsed over the last year and a half. And pilots and crew and all the back end people are suffering. But I'm glad to hear that you say you're looking confidently at September, October, including this Bali bubble. We've got, is it a Darshini? Darshini has got a question about this. Can we play hers?
Hello, Sir Tony. My name is Darshini Sivasanmukam. So my question is about my future, actually, which is regarding to the aviation industry. My ambition is to become a pilot since when I was small. Even though I'm from a middle class family, less than a middle class family, I never give up on my dreams because for me, I personally believe that if I want to achieve something, my passion and the effort I put to achieve something is the only important thing. And some people, they believe that if we want to become a pilot, money is the only thing we need. Yeah, I know money is important, but here I'm working hard so that I can break the stereotypes where people believe that only rich people, they can achieve better. But somehow, during this pandemic, most of the pilots and stewardess, they are jobless. So it make a little worry inside me. How if I not ended up in this aviation industry? So can you please tell us, should I worry or things will get better in the future? Even though people.
Yeah, so Darshini is obviously huge dreams to be a pilot, especially for AirAsia. And now she had a longer video and she said she didn't want to give up on that dream. So I think she's I think, at that middle ground of like, are we going to
No, look, you got a dream. Don't give up. Don't give up. It's going to take a few years because we're not going to hire people for a while. But you never know this, I was talking to Airbus, and they're predicting a very strong rebound. And I saw in the Qantas the other day and some of the other airlines. and people are optimistic of a pretty sharp rebound, which means we could be hiring pilots again. At the moment, it doesn't look so in the short term for at least the next year. Because, as I've said, I've got to hire everyone back, But later on, don't give up your dream. Never give up your dream. I saw a couple of other comments that you'd sent me, Harith, and there's no more age limit. You can be a cadet whenever you want. I always tell people, do not give up your dreams, because it's your dream, right? And you don't want to sit there at 55 like Harith and say, I wish I became an astronaut. It's too late.
Yeah.
So you've got to make sure that you live your dreams. It's not about money. We have Coogan, very famous guy, who was a dispatch boy for me, and it took him 11 times to take the exam, because it's just before for Dashini. It's not just about money. You have to have talent to be able to fly a plane as well. It's not that you got people's lives in your hand. So it's not just about money. But Coogan was our dispatch boy, and now he's a first officer. He's lost 1 year. He's still flying a little bit here and there, but just like all the all-stars, they're helping in the vaccination, they're helping doing registration of vaccines, they're doing all kinds of things to keep themselves occupied. So, don't give up, because you've got a whole life ahead of you, and don't give up over 1 or 2 years of COVID. The world slow down, but it'll catch up, and you'll be able to live your dream. And certainly at AirAsia, it's not about money. You don't need money. We guarantee your loan, and we help you becoming a pilot. So Dashini is here, so don't give up. And as Harith said, I really, and if there's one message I'm going to give today, we're all the same. I just want to say that recently there's been comments on foreign workers, and I think, and refugees. I think it's, can you imagine being a refugee? We should treat all these people really well. Foreign workers who've come to this country, maybe 6 million, have contributed so much to this country. They're doing jobs that most Malaysians don't want to do. And so we should treat everyone with respect. And certainly at AirAsia we did. And as you said, we were the first airline to have female pilots. And the other day was history, just before COVID. Captain was female, co-pilot was female, all the cabin crew were female, chief engineer was female, and all the passengers were male. Well, actually, that's not quite true. Anything can happen, man. Anything can happen. Live your dreams.
I'm just going to hold you on that statement. You were just talking a bit earlier about refugees and immigrants and all. And I'm on the same page with you on this one, specifically during the MCO and over the last 12, 18 months. A lot of what perceived to be reaction against or hate of grabbing illegals off the street, and then everyone saying, yeah, who cares, they deserve it and all, and a lot of ill feeling towards what I see is, regardless, okay, number one, if someone's illegal, you don't question why they're here, you question who let them in. That's I'm just saying that, I'm not implying anything, but no one chooses to be illegal. No one chooses to leave their country for 6, 12 months, maybe 3 years, to go and work hard somewhere else. No, I don't believe anyone chooses that, only to end up in a country where you are treated with less dignity than I think is deserved of most people. And you're right, the immigrants, current immigrants and refugees, given the work, the majority really want to work and really, at most or at least, do the job. So yeah. I'm with you on this one, and I'm sorry I'm getting a little bit emotional about this, but yeah, we shout about, hey, let's go save Palestine and all, and then we spit on the refugees from Rohingya. It's like, don't come at me with, but Rohingyans are like A, B, C, D, E. Yeah, human beings are like A, B, C, D, E. And there are good human beings as well. And I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. And, I was on the Global Council for Amnesty. So there were 3 things that really impacted me. One is workers' rights, in terms of, we've seen workers abused in Malaysia and other countries. And one of the good things about COVID is hopefully that will bring things to the forelight. I mean, I posted a picture on Instagram of workers being transported to a COVID center in a lorry, in an open top lorry, right? I mean, that's just so wrong. And then the other aspect is refugees. You're 100% right. I 100% believe we should have a policy on refugees, and we should live or die by that, right? And remember, it's not so long ago that we were going to England and we were being abused, okay, for being different color, and Americans still have issues like that. Now Chinese are being beaten up in America because of Chinese-looking people. So you've really got to make sure that this whole race thing. And finally, you're right. Illegal workers means someone employed an illegal worker, and why are companies not being punished as well, right? If that's the problem.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's a big topic. It's a topic that I could spend hours on. But basically at AirAsia, we all believe everyone's the same, right? It doesn't matter what creed, color, sex, religion, sexual preference, whatever. We're all the same.
Rock on, peace, whatever. Do AirAsia have a gang sign like AAA?
Not really, man. But maybe we could have. No gang sign. we call ourselves all stars, man. And we just are a positive.
Okay. I'm number one. Everyone who's watching, thank you so much for your comments. Keep sharing this Facebook and YouTube Live. I'm going to ask Tony you this question. There's a lot of positivity. You see a lot of good things. There's a lot of support about that. But I know over the last X amount of years, you have had to have made some pretty tough decisions. For example, I think you said 2,000 people have been let go, retrenched. I have got personal messages from AirAsia staff, angry or whatever, and I'm sure you get it all the time. And I don't know you, but I kind of know that that's got to affect you in some way when you're doing what you consider the best or what you need to do.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's
going to affect you.
I actually haven't received any angry messages from All Stars. I honestly haven't, and most people have understood why we've had to do what we've had to do. This is survivability, right? But I honestly haven't, and that sometimes makes it harder in some ways. Maybe they text you, but I certainly haven't received anything. And, but given time, we have angry people waiting for refunds. But what do? You pay everyone's salary, and then you go bankrupt. That's not going to help anyone. My first job is to survive. I don't have some big benefactor, like Khazanah or Temasek or someone with enormous amounts of cash. We are a private company, and we have to survive on what we have. And so that's my first job, survive. And if it means that I delay a few refunds, if it means I have to let some people go, then I have to do that, right? It's not what I want to do. In 19 years, we've never had to do it. I used to proudly say that we have never, ever made a staff redundant. Never, ever.
Really?
We never, ever, in 19 years, not one. Airlines all over the world did, for 2007, SARS, bird flu, oil crisis. We never did because, we always were careful and we always manage our costs well and our cash well. But, if anyone can tell you they were prepared for COVID, they're talking absolute rubbish because no one can be prepared for COVID. No one, unless you lived in the Spanish flu, right? So, my job is to, as the leader of the company, is to survive. And if I can get out of this, what an amazing story. And if I can hire back everyone that we let go, then we've really done something great. And we've been innovative. We've a lot of staff who we know will lose jobs. We started AirAsia Academy, and we're reskilling them. And a lot of them are going to the digital world that we have now put together. And I came out with an article, which I think you mentioned it. I came out that the biggest learning for me is fair weather friends and fair weather corporations that made so much money from you over the 19 years. And then when you hit a spot of bother, they drop you like a hot potato. And that is a really, really good lesson for me.
Can you give me an example, the layman?
Well, I don't want to yet, but I'm going to write another book, and it's going to be a very, very strong book, very strong. And I'm not going to mince my words on this book. A lot of stuff I want to cover, and it's going to be a great book to read because it's going to be straight from my heart. But because the lessons that I've learned in COVID, the lessons I've learned just before COVID, and running an airline and surviving all this period, is you can't learn that in Harvard Business School. You can't learn that in Oxford. But what I have learned is there's some amazing companies who look more than the next day, who say, we're going to stand behind you because we know you're going to come back stronger. And my God, I'm going to support them forever. Those are companies that are visionary, that don't look at today. They look at the management. Was AirAsia a good airline before COVID? Yes. Was it profitable? Yes. Will it be a good airline again after COVID? Absolutely. Probably better because we've come back stronger, right? And so we're going to support that company rather than the kind of companies who look at tomorrow and forget what you've achieved and drop you like a hot potato. I am so motivated by that. I am so motivated. And I'm motivated by two things. One, getting my staff back, and one, proving people wrong. There is nothing more exciting than a challenge and proving people wrong. And that's what drives me every day, that I'm going to have the last laugh. And I'm going to be so proud of my staff. And it's an amazing company to lead through this period, So that keeps me going. And we'll do it. I have no doubt about it. We've survived, Harith, 16 months without really flying. That is incredible.
It's
and
crazy.
That is it's an incredible amount of staff. And you look at my staff, they're not, we ask for volunteers to go to the vaccine center, and they go. They don't complain. We ask, can you deliver food? Captains who are flying an A330, delivering food in their own company, in their own car. That is amazing culture. Money can't buy that. And that is a case in point, right? So I need strange things to motivate me. My staff is number one, but kind of seeing how some people treated us, we won't forget that. Now, don't get angry. Get even.
No, I am in awe of what you just said, and it makes a lot of sense. Just a very short story. I've got a friend who's got a property, and he's had a tenant in that property for the last 13 years. And as the last 16 months have gone down, and the tenant's been struggling to pay the rent. But my friend remembers the 13 years of this guy paying on time, never negating on anything. And he's basically said to this guy, listen, pay me what you can now, because I want to keep you as a tenant, because we're all suffering right now this last 2 years. And I know you're going to come back strong. And when you come back strong, I want to be there for you, and you're going to be there for me to look after my rather than
respect.
Yeah, respect
to your friend.
His name is.
Run a bank.
I'm going to shout out to Devin.
Respect.
He basically said to the tenant, pay me what you can now, because I know you're struggling, but you've been great for 12, 13 years.
Yeah.
So
now look, we've had some amazing companies, amazing partners, amazing flyers, people who remembered how many times we gave them a cheap flight, or they flew to places they never dreamt of. And they're saying, we know you're having it tough, Tony and All Stars. Keep the money, and when you can pay us back, pay us back. And we're going to try and do it with other ways. Soon you'll be able to use AirAsia food, and please try AirAsia food. Very soon, Harith, we'll be able to do that live. We'll be able to do that video that you played live, because AirAsia Rides is coming. And, maybe there'll be some extra charges for you. I can't wait for AirAsia Rides. We're going to really rock the roads in red. Our team has got so many exciting ideas. We've, once we really launch AirAsia Food and AirAsia Supermarket, we've got some really great things coming up.
Now, okay, hold on. Let me just ask you. Prior to the pandemic, did you have all these ideas already in mind?
Yeah.
They
They were
formulated it.
They were definitely there because look, we have a massive asset called data, and we have a massive talented workforce. So I thought, we were a digital company when Grab was still in their nappies, right? When Food Panda was still a baby panda. We were already a digital company, right? People forget that. We were the first guys to be selling tickets on the internet. We were e-commerce. Yeah, there was no one selling airline tickets on the internet 19 years ago.
Nice.
And so, everyone says, oh, digital unicorn, blah, blah, blah. We were the first digital company in Southeast Asia. And so there's nothing we don't know and we know people better than any digital company. I'm not going to have my riders sitting underneath a bridge for rest. We're going to look after them like we've looked after all stars. And we're going to make some of these riders pilots. The biggest asset in a delivery company is the rider, yet they are treated so poorly, right? We're going to make sure you love your rider, that you know your rider in the same way we made our cabin crew so famous, right? You fly on SIA, they all look the same. They all come from the same factory in Jurong. Every AirAsia cabin crew has personality, has individuality, has style. And every rider in AirAsia is going to be, I did a TikTok video with them the other day.
Yeah,
one of my riders came up to me and said, he was so proud. Teleport, our company's running that, and said, I'm so proud to be Rider of the Month, and he wanted to take a picture. And these are the real people in the company. Tech companies sometimes forget that it's still a people's business. It's not about how great your product is online and how fast you can do it. It's about the guys. Adrian has just said, I know him. His girlfriend works for me as my assistant. And he says, you should deliver with AirAsia riders. Now, you were a bit of a biker boy, if I remember right. We need to get more suspension to hold that weight.
Yo, look who's talking.
Yeah, I've lost weight, man. I've lost weight. So why don't you come and be a delivery guy with me once MCO finishes, Harith?
I'll charge you for that. You know what? Here's what I love about you. You've pivoted. You're continuing to adjust. You have genuine, what I feel, genuine love and concern for your staff, your business, your people, your brand. This is, like you said, COVID is not something you could have taught or learned in Harvard Business School. With that, I want to bring on a question from a lady called Adriana, who is actually in Indonesia, but she's from New Zealand. Can you play Adriana's question?
Hi, Harith. Hi, Tony Fernandes. I'm Adriana. I live in Indonesia. My school that I work at is really big on entrepreneurship, which is great. The two of you as successful entrepreneurs, I'd really like to ask what more the school can be doing to instill good skills or mindsets so that our next generation is set up to be successful in any enterprise that they venture into. On a side note, it would be great if I could get you both to do a virtual session with our students to inspire them. But yeah, we can talk about that later. Thank you. Bye.
You got to love that Australian and Kiwi accent, don't you?
Yeah, I know. So anyway, there was Adriana. She wants to know a little bit. Like, yeah, but you're serious. I actually feel for her because, like you said, what can you teach in school now to prepare someone? Like, what have you learned now that if you were writing a lecture?
Yeah, I mean, you can't really teach entrepreneurship. You just got to go out and do it. But you can teach good communication skills. Now, one of the things that I have a very big passion about is education is not just about getting 18 A's at A levels, right? It's about learning sport. It's about doing music. It's about the debating society. It's about drama. And, we we need to prepare children for an all-round. And when you expose kids to more and more, and when in school, when you expose them to businesses and entrepreneurs, then some of them are going to be inspired to say they want to do that, right? So, I think one thing that is lacking is in schools is actually understanding business. You learn things that I don't think are so relevant anymore, but you don't actually learn about business until you go much further ahead in diploma or in university. I think business can be taught earlier in a school, understanding entrepreneurs. Learning about history is really good, but learning about entrepreneurs as well. What drove them? What drove Richard Branson? What drove Elon Musk? What drove Steve Jobs to do what he did? What local guys? Tan Sri KT Lim of Genting. What drove him to go and start a cruise business? There's hundreds of stories out there, and I always do that. I get inspired. When I was young, to be honest, I loved reading about business stories. And my mother was in Tupperware. That, of course, inspired me tremendously. She was a music teacher with not a lot of education, but she could sell ice to an Eskimo. And I saw the power of motivating, the power of getting people. She used to compose songs and wake me up at 5 a.m. and play the piano. I used to sit on yellow pages, I got a Tupper feeling up in my head, sell more Tupperware. And so, my business education came from my mother. And then I was interested to learn about business leaders. But I was equipped at school to learn to communicate, to understand teamwork, because I love sport. In a different body, I was fairly competent at sport. And I took part in everything. I took part in drama. I was a horrific actor. But I tried everything. I'm one of those guys that want to try everything. And, I was not really good at some things, but I tried it. And I always tell people it's okay to fail as long as you try. You don't want to sit there at 55 and say, I wish I did it right. I said that earlier in the interview. So my mother was my best teacher. And that has enabled me to, want to be an entrepreneur and want to go into business. And certainly I think schools can do more. And I'm more than happy. I love, I get invited to do all kinds of things, but I have no issue speaking on a virtual class with kids who want to know more about business.
Okay, I'm gonna throw this one at you as well. What I do get from you, and you mentioned it earlier, you've always been passionate about Malaysia and doing business in Malaysia, recognizing that there were things you did here which you might not have been able to do in other countries, and at the same time recognizing the weaknesses currently within the Malaysian structure, the system, and the way business and politics is run. But yeah, you with your drive, with your passion, with your knowledge, with your hard work, you could have done most of this, what you're doing now, overseas, but you're still here through, I don't know how many governments you've seen through the times, and you got a few brickbats in 2018. You painted your planes blue, and I most of us understood what that was all about. You're a survivor. You survive, and I have no doubt you're going to survive this COVID. Now, here's my question leading to it. Okay, you survived COVID. Flights are going again. Will it last? I mean, currently with the current machinations, online, everyone's currently unhappy with the government. If it changes, here's my question as well. Change to what? To whom? But as a businessman, how do you place yourself within this? Like, yes, I need to, the Malay word is layan, I need to look who's in the government, but I just need to do business as well. How do you ride that line? And you've been doing it amazingly for the last 25, 30 years.
It's above my pay grade, right? Really, you're a businessman. You have to work with whoever. There's you, a personal person, and you as a leader of a company, right? So in any country, you have to work with the government of the day. And it's not for me to decide who I work with and who I don't work with. I have 22,000 people, and I work with the government of the day. And that's not just in Malaysia. I work with the government of the day in Thailand. There's been many, many governments that's changed in Thailand, and in the Philippines and Indonesia. So you just have to work with whoever that's there. That is the job. And I'm not here to say who's right or wrong or who's good or bad. That's above my pay grade. I have consistently said that government shouldn't be involved in business. It's hard when you are competing against entities that are owned by the government. It is well recorded that I've had many altercations with Malaysian airports, many, and but I haven't had one altercation with Sinai Airport, which is owned by a private individual, right? Because the private individual wants to maximize his return, and working with AirAsia is the right thing to do. There was a recent debate on Subang Airport being privatized, and I saw Syed Saddiq and everyone making a comment on that. I don't know about the process, but I do know about aviation, and I would like a hungry entrepreneur running airports, right? Who wants to work with us to grow. So I'm not here to comment on who's the leader, who's not. That's beyond my pay grade. I'm not a politician, right? I'm a businessman, and I will work with every single government that has to work with. That's our job. But I've consistently said, not just in Malaysia, that government should facilitate business and not be involved in business.
Just on that point of the Subang Airport, from my point of view, reading the comments and all, I think the belief is most people are like, oh, you're going to tear this down and put up condos or buildings or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about whether it was right, wrong, what are they going to do with it. All I know is it's more fun working with an entrepreneur who's hungry and wants to grow together.
I get it. I get what you mean. And yeah, you know what? I just want to leave.
Can you imagine a government-linked joke factory? Could you imagine if you had to compete against a Khazanah-owned comedy house? It's hard to imagine, right? But
you mean RTM?
I'm not going there. Okay.
Okay, I went there.
David Wong has just said, build your own airport. Boy, I'd love to do that. I'd love to have tried, right? But it ain't going to happen.
Anton, there's a guy with a red cap. I forgot his name, the question. I think it relates to this. I may be wrong. I just want to bring him up. I can't remember his name. Red cap guy. Throw that.
Hi, I'm Politaran Sivaguru from Penang, currently in Singapore. Tony sir, you are my inspiration since I was young. And this is the picture I took over back in 2019 at Joke Factory, organized by Harit sir. So I have 3 questions for you tonight. So the first question is, what business models and strategies promise the biggest likelihood of success for airlines as well as F&B and travel retail stakeholders in post-COVID-19 world? My second question is, how can airlines generate revenue after the crisis? And the third question is, and what role do airports, marketing, omnichannel and digitalization in general play in the equation? Thank you, sir.
That's a whole business degree.
Yeah.
I love your cat, by the way, and thank you for the nice words. I don't know if I can remember all that question, but the third question I think is the most relevant to me right now, in that digital companies are spending a lot of money on advertising, and that affects their bottom line a lot. They're spending a lot on promotion and acquiring customers and all this kind of stuff. So we at AirAsia are building our own channels in trying to reduce the cost of advertising dramatically. And that's so an omni-channel presence, of which we own some of those channels. And obviously on our aircraft, we own channels for advertising. On our, we created our own messenger called AirAsia Chat, which we haven't really launched yet, but in a soft launch, we already have 1 million users. And then our very strong database. So we're really focused on creating our own channels as much as possible on that. I can't remember the other two questions, Harith. Can you refresh my memory?
No, I was just looking at his cat. So
Yeah.
the fact that he met you at the Joke Factory, I think that's what tied it all in together.
There we go. There we go.
Okay, I know, dude. I know you've had a completely full day, and we really appreciate it. I think everyone all the comments have been amazing. People have really appreciated hearing from you. You seem to have a lot of AirAsia all-stars out there who are following this show as well. Thank you to everyone who's been watching and sharing it. Just before that, before we let you go, and I know, you're going to go. So yeah, you were talking about your next book. This is your first book. Which to me was because we're kind of the same age, in our late 30s. So I related to a lot of the things that you were writing about. Are you really writing this second book, though?
Yeah, I'm going to. I mean,
what's the gist? What's the gist?
Gist is the ultimate challenge, right? It's the ultimate challenge. This last, since that book finished. It's been rock and roll, right? I think this book is as much historical and instructional on how to survive COVID. Now, we haven't survived yet, but we're looking good. And how to not put your head in the sand and cry and blame the whole world. We Asians and Malaysians have a tendency of blaming everyone but ourselves. And so, the book is as much about living through a crisis, keeping staff as much as you can in a job, and pivoting. And we have pivoted. Whether we are successful in that pivot, time will tell, right? Who would have believed that I'm selling bananas now, and in groceries? Who would believe that we have built a bank? Big Pay, is going to apply for a banking license. And that's incredible. We have 800,000 people using Big Pay in Malaysia, and we've spent very, very little. And, who would believe that we had Santan restaurants? I mean, that's incredible for our staff to go out there. I gave them this challenge. I said, let's rename our food Santan, because coconut. And I said, one day my dream is to have a restaurant, and Catherine made it real. We opened a restaurant, and we have 12 restaurants now. We have an engineering company, which we didn't have. We're going to be the best engineering company in Southeast Asia, fixing planes. And it's from a little junior engineer who's now moved up to become CEO. He has done an amazing job. His name is Mahesh. And, we're going to build this. We've got a Thai young lad who is building this amazing logistics company. So that book is about people. It's about giving people a chance. Your biggest asset in your company is your people. It's, you can't put a number. There's no number in the balance sheet. And too many companies don't realize that their biggest talent is their people. And I've always said that for 19 years, but my God, in this 1.5 years, we're going to survive and come out stronger because of our people. And that is the best lesson that needs to be written down. There needs to be all those stories of how we survived this 17 months, 15 months, whatever it is. Feels like 17 years. And, it's the people story. It's Benji, who was an intern in AirAsia, and then in investor relations, and then my assistant. And now he's head of delivery. He's the man who's going to take on these monster companies, Grab and Food Panda. And he's not scared. He's excited. And those stories have to be written down, and they have to be read for 30 years later. And maybe some of those stories go into school, right? Who knows? And it's not just positive. It's not just positive, Harith. It's got to be also, people have to know that when things go bad, you have a lot of fair weather friends out there, right? And, when you're doing great and everything's going great, everyone loves you. But when things are not going great, that's when you see. Now, I've been lucky that AirAsia still has so many guys going, I want to shout out to Evan as well. People like Evan who just keep positive, keep going on. That these are the kind of people that have kept me alive. So, the book is going to be very personal. It's going to talk about a lot of things, but the main thing is going to be about how we fought this as a group of people in Thailand, in Indonesia, in Philippines, and in Malaysia, right, and in India, and a lot of great lessons there. Not all positive, but hey, I always say life is not about winning. Life is about learning, and you learn the most when you fail, and you learn the most when you're at the bottom of the heap. You learn little when you're successful because you're riding that glory, right? You think you're the king. I always tell people it's very easy to go up, but it's far quicker to come down. Far quicker. It takes a long time to get up there. You think about, I laugh about it, but there's a lot of reality in it. Snakes and ladders. Remember that game, Arif?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah. So you play snakes and ladders, and you get up all the way almost to win, and you hit square 97.
Yeah,
96. And you go all the way down to 3, right?
Oh
so
my God.
That's what's happened to us. In 245 planes to 2 planes, right? But we're still alive. We're still smiling. My crew are still proud to put on that uniform and go out and be in the vaccination center. They're excited to put on their uniform. That is amazing energy. After not having flown for so long, yet to still keep that spirit up. That needs to be told in a book. Those individual stories need to be told.
Tony, I almost feel like putting on a red skirt right now.
Yeah, you look good, man.
Yeah, I'm feeling you, bro. Guys, I want to give away my already read old copy of Tony's Flying High to the person who leaves the best review for this particular episode. Leave a review later on. Hashtag What's Going On Malaysia. Hashtag What's Going On Malaysia. Leave a review. And the best review, I will sign this book. Screw Tony. I'm more important than him because I read this book. Look, it's still brown. You can see that I've read. It's got a bookmark in it. So with that, I want to say thank you so much to Tony. You have been nothing but kind and inspirational. And even at the end of the day, you were still, you're still being yourself. You're still authentic. And you can tell from the comments that a lot of people are behind you. A lot of people are supportive of you and AirAsia. And that is a testament to you as a person. So thank you, Tony, once again. Before we go, any last parting?
No. Thank you, Harith. I mean, we've known each other forever, right? And I was there when you won the world's greatest comedian in Helsinki, if I remember correctly, and you were updating me when I was flying around the world. And I think the best thing you said today is I've stayed the same, and that is the most important human quality. I'm starting a podcast. I'm trying to be like you. It's life is about learning. So, the first few shows were a bit, I'm used to being interviewed. I'm not used to interviewing people and keeping my mouth shut. So it's been hard. But, I had a great show with Les Ferdinand the other day. You remember him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Name.
And he played football, and I did Dana White, who I just mentioned earlier in the show, and he's a real inspiration and a legend, and so many great stories in there. He, straight out of school, he loved fighting, and he acquired UFC, and he's made it this massive global sport, right? And what he said is what you said. The best thing about a human being is humility and remaining true to yourself. And the greatest compliment anyone can give to me is I'm the same Tony that existed when they knew me at school, or when I was in Warner Music, or when I started off in AirAsia with 2 planes, right? I think the worst thing about a human being is when they think they're more important than someone else. And, I love the people in my company. I don't care what level you are. I love getting to know the riders. I love the people who make the food at Santan. And so the best advice I can give to anyone here is stay true to yourself. Don't be something you're not, and stay humble. Life's much more fun. And the very last thing I want to say, because it's tough out there. It's really tough out there for everyone. It's not just tough for the airlines. It's tough being locked in. I feel sorry for your wife, Harith. She has to live with you every day, 24/7. I mean, that's tough. You got to be a special woman to be able to put up with you. She had breaks before you'd go on tour, etc. But last 15 months, she's been with you every day. So she's a hero. She's a doctor, so she must be calm and cool. But, it's tough out there, but there's only one way to live life, guys, and that's be positive. Because as soon as you start getting negative, that's the beginning of the end. And so, live each day as though it's your last day. Go out there and enjoy life and be positive. You said it, Tony. You said it, Harith. You said, is this real or is this Tony Fernandes being positive? Maybe it's Tony Fernandes being positive. But that's all we've got, right? There's no point sitting down and crying and being negative. And you all can make a difference. Every single human can make a difference. If we're all positive, Malaysia is going to be a lot better place, and the world will be a better. Now, that sounds like Miss World.
You do. I can see you.
That's one thing I ain't going to be achieving in my dreams, to be Miss World. But I want to thank you, Harith, for giving me the time, for always being there, being supportive, and making us laugh, and stay safe. And you sound like you're going to launch a political career. So you kept trying to prompt me into politics, and I ain't going there.
I know.
I'm a businessman, and but if you go into politics, good luck, my brother. We've seen many of our friends go into it.
Have we? Really? Have we?
I think we have, haven't we? There are a couple of guys you know pretty well.
I'm going to leave it at that.
There we go. Paul Chong, I'm with you. Stay positive, stay humble. Nothing more. And that's a cool picture of your mother, I assume.
Guys, everyone, please say thank you to Tony Fernandes from the bottom of my heart as well. Tony, we'll talk real soon. Hopefully we meet on a golf course, and I can win some more money off you one day. Just a small,
quick one. Croatia or Spain, my friend? It's at 12 o'clock.
I got to go with Croatia for some reason.
Yeah. It's been, money would say Spain.
Yeah.
But there we go. Vladimir Putin's listening to us, man. So,
yeah, he was.
I can retire. The leader of Russia listening to Harith Iskandar.
I know.
Whoever wrote that jingle, who wrote the jingle for you, man?
That was back in the day. That was Pachai, a friend of mine.
Pachai, great bass player. Married to Sheila Majid.
Yes.
Good jingle. If you see him,
I'm glad
it's in my head. I'm going to be dreaming it tonight. We're
going to take you out of that.
Take care, man. Hey, can you do a quick jingle for me? Imagine I have my own show.
Your show will be like, Tony Fernandes, Tony Fernandes, Tony. Okay, we can stop there.
Okay, Mariana, we've got it. That's the tune for the podcast. We are low cost, we are cheap, and we're proud of it. See you all on the plane real soon, everyone. We're flying you around everywhere. See you at food delivery. Have fun. Take care.
Tony leaves. I've got something to give away. Thank you, guys. Oh my God, that was one of the most fun conversations I've ever had. Not just for the show, but in most times. Remember, leave a review and hashtag for this show, and win a self-signed by me copy of the book that's already been read. It's not a new book. I've read it, but I will send it to you. In the meantime, I did promise a giveaway from the last show to the best review. Anton, if you go to brand, yes, the best review, or the review I picked out, has come from Jo Wong. She said, I love your show because all the personalities you invited give me hope. Perhaps we still have hope for this country and our nation. Jo Wong, please DM me, direct message me your details. You have won a copy of Lutz, The Early Years, for your review of the show, What's Going On Malaysia. Jo Wong, thank you so much. You have won a copy of Lutz, The Early Years. Jo Wong, please DM me your details, guys. I'm gonna wrap this all up in just a moment. First of all, I want to say thank you to all of you who are still watching. Thank you so much. I appreciate your challenge of staying with us with so many other things you could be doing. If you've noticed my t-shirt, I'm wearing a Hope Branch t-shirt. This is I'm going to do a little bit of a shout out. I've been talking an hour and a half to Tony. A little bit of a shout out to the Hope Branch. I hope you guys can follow the Hope Branch on Instagram and Facebook. We are an NGO that works to support those who cannot support themselves. And we are based on personal funding from friends, and funding from the public. And we are out there 6-7 days a week. Currently during the MCO, just feeding the homeless, the B40s, the disenfranchised. Go to my Facebook, go to my Instagram, and you'll see some. Guys, sorry, that was just my wife talking to me. If you go to my Facebook or my Instagram and you scroll back a bit, you will see what happened to us on Sunday. Every Sunday, we visit Pusat Gelendangan in Medan Tuanku, which is about 300 to 400 homeless and disenfranchised line up to get just a simple meal from us with some fruit and some biscuits and some bread and a hot meal and a drink and all. And every Sunday or Saturday, we always drop by Jalan Tun H.S. Lee on a gentleman who lives on the streets. It's not his real name. I call him Ganesh. It's not his real name. And we've been dropping by 3, 4 weeks, 5 weeks in a row, got him some crutches, leave him some food. Last Sunday, when we last Sunday? Yesterday. What am I talking about? Yesterday, we dropped in on him and he was delirious. He was in pain and he was telling us he had a fever. We don't want to get close to him. You can watch the clip that we edited. It's on my Facebook and Instagram. But a short story, St. John's ambulance showed up and we got him into the ambulance and sent him to the HKL. Because basically, I have a feeling that we have not reached him in time. He might have just, not been very well or just died on the street. And no one deserves to die on the street, and no one deserves to live on the streets. And trust me, if you travel around the streets of KL, there are not hundreds, there are thousands of what I would call homeless, although that term is a little bit broad. But so this is the Hope Branch does that. We try and help as many people as we can, specifically those people who cannot support themselves, and the numbers are growing. So thank you again, everyone. If you've followed the Hope Branch, or if you have contributed to the Hope Branch and donated, thank you so much. Please go and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. I'm inspired. I'm inspired by Tony Fernandes. Let me know how he's inspired you. Once again, leave the best review and win this book. Once again, to all of you who are still here, thank you. Thank you. It means a lot, so much to me that you spent this time with me. By the way, I know a lot of you also watch after the fact. You don't watch it live, you can't watch it live, and you're watching it the next day or the next day or the next day. Thank you for watching right to this part. If you have enjoyed the show, let me know. Let me know how I can do better. It's still a work in progress. Let me know. A lot of people have been saying, maybe you can do this, you can do that. I want to know how I can do better for you guys. And that's also important to me, to make this experience, this moment, this show as good as possible for everyone out there. With that, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to my team. Got a small, tiny, little, itsy-bitsy team working behind the scenes. Gentleman by the name of Anton Lim, who is coincidentally the same name as my wife. I wouldn't say they're related. But anyway, he lives around the corner. So there you go. Guys, thank you to the team. Thank you to all of you who are watching. Thank you to those who've commented, you've shared. Bagi tepukan kepada anda yang telah komen dan share. Terima kasih. Woo! And also thank you to my... Where's my wife gone? My wife is in the toilet. Sayang? Toilet. Okay. Guys, thank you again. I will see you soon. I'm going to end the broadcast now. Once again, I know we're in this funk together and we're asking ourselves, what's going on, Malaysia? I hope you have learned as much as I have tonight about what's going on, Malaysia, and leave it with a more positive point of view. Thank you. Good night. My name is Harith Iskandar. Assalamu alaikum. I will see you guys soon on the next episode. Bye.